What up, what up, what up? This is Mike the Philosopher, along with the esteemed panel, as they say, with my boy Sean B and Kamal Aristo. And today's topic is pretty interesting. It's from Essence. In case y'all want to know, you can look it up yourself. This is not something I brung up or something I created or anything like that. But we felt like it was necessary to talk about. It is an article from Essence saying, dump men faster. Okay, a black women over 50 share lessons about love they wish they knew earlier. Okay, age doesn't come with wisdom for everyone, but sometimes it does as it relates to love. After decades of being in one relationship for several, you're likely to come to conclusions about love you wish you knew earlier. Many of us who are in love or looking for love could benefit from these lessons. Perhaps you're in a stable relationship but want to deepen the bond between you and your partner. Or maybe you're happily single, but want to be ready when the love of your life does come along. However the case, we asked 17 women over 50 who are both single and partner to share the things that they wish they knew earlier about love and what lessons they could offer to others based on their experiences. I wonder why. Well, I guess this is Essence, so it makes sense as to why they only questioned African American women on this. But I'd be interested to see just a general, or how this would play out if other ethnicities was involved with this survey. But let's move on. It says, however the case, we asked 17 women out of 50 who are both single and partnered to share their things in which that they knew earlier in love and what lessons they can offer based on other experiences. How hopefully you're able to find at least one piece of advice that resonates with you and where you are on your love journey. Keep in mind, there's no one size fits all formula. So there is no one size fits all. Fairly obvious, but let's see here. Well, I guess a lot of the article has been scrubbed off for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it was deemed to be a little negative for the community. But in other words, the the article is saying in general that black women, especially over 50, say you should dump men faster. What are your thoughts about that, Ski? And do you think that men should kind of take that same advice, or is it all wrong on both sides? What do you think?
Well, coming from Essence magazine, and like you said, of the 50 people they spoke with or whoever they spoke to, that's just their opinion, at the end of the day, But I ain't in agreement with none of the article is saying, I'm in agreement with what the words say, and and it's love is, when y'all get together, y'all get together. It ain't supposed to be no separation, It ain't supposed to be none of that. Y'all and she's your helpmeet, y'all come together, y'all make y'all create life, y'all don't got to be, in the same, like the way I used to see it with elders, how they're together, but they're not in the same room, they got their space. But they still, they came together at that point. You know what I'm saying? They
But
procreated.
they found a way to make it happen and make it keep working.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go my way now. You go your way. No, it ain't supposed to be none of that. Yeah.
Hey, Sean, I got a question for you. Do you think that love is weaker now with is it like the younger you get, the weaker love gets, or is that just happen to be a part of the I guess changing ways of society? You on mute, man, by the way. So I was wondering if you could ask them that question. Is love something that's weak, or is it something that's losing its appeal, so to speak? Or is it that just people just ain't got no patience these days to really, go for the long haul? What do you think? Sean B?
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
For some reason, my whole headphones and mic went out.
Yeah, we got you now.
They keep cutting in and out. But yeah, like, articles like that promotes singleness.
Yeah.
Being by yourselfness. So
yeah.
I mean, this is what the young kids are reading nowadays. Like, see, I told you this makes sense.
Well, the one thing about it though is that this is advice from women who are 50 and over. So, I think that maybe Generation X is giving the millennials and the Zs bad advice. What do you think? You went back on mute, Sean. Do you think that the X's is giving the Z's and millennials bad advice, Ski?
Yeah, that's where they get it from. Like that organized crime, just Godfather type thing, just hand it on down, them, but them ones, they sorority, fraternity, whatever you want to call it, they all in the same gang.
Yeah. I call it the sister circle sorority, man. I just kind of nicknamed it that because
that's them talking.
Yeah, because it seems like for the most part, Black women really to be a Black woman is almost like automatically being in a sorority. You're initiated into a sorority, and with this sorority comes a whole bunch of ways of trying to move in life, and a lot of times it includes you being an independent woman. Chasing the bag is one thing. I'm gonna do a show on modern women priority or just women priorities, because there's 3 different type of women, and I'm gonna do a show on their priorities and their priority list. So check for that video, because that's probably going to come next. And a lot of it is being independent. A lot of it is not really being cooperative in relationships, and I'm not sure why that is. I mean, you got people like and I'm gonna say his name, Kevin Samuel. You got people like Kevin Samuel who come up with these topics in these shows, and you got men all around, not just the United States but around the world, really agreeing with a lot of the things that this dude is saying, and the women are baffled as to why he's saying these things and who is he. And this is not necessarily to try to come down on women is just trying to understand the psyche of, and this is in essence, and they're saying to dump men faster. Now, I don't know why the article didn't really go into much detail. It's almost like they're trying to get rid of it or scrub it or something. But I did notice that it just comes off as being very selfish is not the word. Just self-involved, just scared. Maybe they mean to not waste time in relationships. Well, I think I got another version of it, so hold on. It goes like this. Keep in mind the differences. However, you take a gym and so there's a Tanza Wallace. Okay, I wish I knew that it was okay to have a voice. You wish you knew that it was okay to have a voice? Why do you think you don't have a voice? If there's any woman that has a voice, it's the Black woman, in my opinion. I have more of a voice than any other woman. So already this quote is kind of starting off shaky, in my opinion. But let's continue on. It says, and that having a voice doesn't equal nagging. I wish I knew to set boundaries and stick with them. The women in my family showed me that to have a man, you needed to let him be a man. I wish I knew that a man will always be a man without my help. Okay, so I'm gonna need some more clarification on that. It said, I got married very young, and my grandparents on my mom's side, aunts, showed me to cater to men. And that for me has led to emotional abuse and one-sidedness. Wow. If your woman caters to you, Ski, are you abusing her? That was just a rhetorical question, man. Don't worry about answering that.
The Garbage Samuel, I seen an episode of dude, when he was asking a young lady if she thought she was a 10. Mm-hmm. Dig that.
Mm-hmm. What happened? She thought she was?
Yeah.
I would challenge you to find me a tape of a woman saying she's not a 10. Now, what I was surprised by, and there was one woman who said
but the man was talking about her appearance, her face. You know. You think you a 10? I just
right, but guess what? One thing shocked me though. It seems like those who it to me is almost a tell of your self-esteem, because if you look in the mirror and you're a 5 and you say you're a 10, to me that's saying you compensate. It's almost like a man saying he can touch the floor with his thing and he can't. You know what I mean? It's overcompensation. Now, what was surprising to me is that he questioned.
Well, what's funny about that, because it's like, him, he's he's the top runner right now as far as relationship talk and all of that mess, but he asking her, if she's a 10, but like we saying, it's somebody for everybody, In the day, I seen a couple crackheads, they're so happy together, and the dude, and I was just thinking like, yeah, it's it's somebody for everybody.
You know, yeah. Even Gator had Holly Berry. You remember that in Jungle Fever?
Top 10 to him. You know.
Yeah. But what was surprising to me is when Kevin Samuel asked Nicki Minaj. Well, actually, Nicki Minaj asked her to rate her, and he said, "Okay, like, are you trying to set me up or whatever?" And he said, "What do you think you are, Nicki Minaj?" And she said, "I think I'm what'd she say? She's a 7 or 8 or yeah, she said she's a 7 or 8 or something like that." Now, somebody like Nicki Minaj, millionaire, beautiful woman, you would expect her to say 1,000. She didn't. She said she's about an 8. He said she's a 9. He actually rated her higher than what she rated herself. You see, but that stuff don't get talked about. It's only when he started talking about women are, you know, average, that that he gets the negative press. But when he tells somebody like Nicki Minaj she's a 9, close to a 10, you know, they don't talk about that part. And that gets overlooked. Yeah, Nicki Minaj called him, and he recorded it. So yeah, it goes on to say that I got married at a young age. Let's see, where did I leave off? I got married very young, and my grandparents, mom and aunt showed me how to cater to men, and that for me has led to emotional abuse and one-sidedness. I can't speak to her experience at all, but you know, maybe she gave her services to the wrong man is all I can say, because a guy worth his salt is not going to abuse that ability of yours. You know, people are not, look, there are good people and there are bad people all over, and a lot of times power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, you know. And I say that to say that you should cater to your man, but maybe it's not a good idea to give him absolute power, because he probably will abuse it. But that doesn't mean that you catering to your man is a bad thing. And I think a lot of times when people get, maybe they get taken advantage of in that way, they just write it all off as all of it being bad. And I wish I would have went a different route, and that's not always the case. You just gave that to the wrong person. You were wrong in your choosing of the person instead of the action. So don't take it out on the action. You see what I'm saying? Take it out on your wrong picking. And it says, wish I knew women mattered too, and that being successful doesn't necessarily include a man. I'm such happier now, but it took years and 2 marriages to get there with my second husband. Okay, so she got happier with her second husband, and that's fine and that's cool. But we all grow as people. You have anything to add to this, Sean? What are your thoughts about this? Should women cater to men, or should they just go solo dolo and just, you know, kind of?
Well,
huh?
I feel like it should be a partnership.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it should be. Well, it's going to be a partnership. As long as you're in a relationship, it should be a partnership. But let me ask you this: do any of y'all agree or disagree with gender roles? What side are you on? Gender roles or no, or partnership, Sean? And gender roles or no, Ski? What are y'all thoughts on that? Gender roles or
Uh,
partnership? Which one?
um, and these days they say whatever the couple want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think just naturally it should be some gender roles, but again, up to the couple on which roles they choose to pick. I don't think it should be just defined like, oh, I'm a man, you're a woman. It should be like, all right, well, these is the tasks that need to be completed because I can cook and clean just as much as I can, lift something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, I want my partner to be just as independent. Like, she may not be able to lift as much, but I want her to be able to come up with a plan on how she gonna get this, whatever it is she trying to lift it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Independent. That's what they call it, right? But I think when two people come together, it should be. I mean, love is a little more delicate than just household chores. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah, I know. And in this day and age, man, in these, days and times, it's a lot. The women sometimes are making just as much as the men. But I'm a big believer that the breadwinner and I want to get some pushback on this. But I'm a believer that the breadwinner does not necessarily mean that person wears the pants in the relationship, so to speak. I'm a believer that the pants are worn by the man at all times. Doesn't matter if he is the breadwinner or not. All a breadwinner it means is who's contributing to the resources for the family.
But I think when it comes to relationships, you always gonna have somebody who's willing and somebody who has the power. And so regardless of the financial status of each, kind of going along what you're saying is that, that don't necessarily mean just because you make more that you don't quote unquote wear the pants.
Yeah. And I just think whoever is the better leader, I still feel like that should be the man's role as far as leading the household. Because I mean, look, even in the Bible, like you said, look, the women are supposed to be the helpmate. I know I went biblical
Not
on
the
you.
Bible.
I went biblical on you, but I'm saying for all those people who claim to be religious, you should be with that mantra and going by that word. You can't claim to be religious, Christian or Muslim or whatever, and then go against what the book says. I mean,
so let me ask you this: do you want a woman who is a believer or a woman who believes like you? Because that's interesting when it comes to relationships. I don't see how a relationship could last with two people on opposite sides.
Well, life will be easier if she thought like me. It just would be. But I'm such a unique person. I don't think I'll ever find a woman who thinks exactly like me or even close to how I think. Partly because I'm a guy. Secondly, because I have I've marched to the beat of my own drum. I don't just go by what people tell me and go by, what's in ancient books, and I don't go by this, that, and the three. It has to be some type of proof of things. But when it comes to,
Like when the apple fell.
When the apple fell, what I mean, look, the apple falling was proof of gravity, Ski. I know you don't want to believe it, but that was proof of gravity, or that gave the inspiration for gravity. So
we gonna call that something.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're gonna call it gravity, and that's when he had the inspiration. But when it comes to a household, I'm probably more traditional. I want a a woman who is comfortable being a woman, comfortable being feminine, comfortable being a helpmate in some ways. So,
well, what if she don't need no help?
Well, what do you mean she don't need no help? She gonna always need help.
Because like, do you prefer like a damsel in distress, or do you prefer like a more
money.
Independent?
It ain't just about money. It's about protection too. It's about a lot of things. It's about so she's gonna always need help, and probably the more money she got, the more she should want a man, because she not only got something to offer, but she gonna need protection for that, and somebody to love. Like it's more than just about, and that's the part that really kind of bothers me, is that people have made relationships so transactional that it's only about money and things, when it's supposed to be about people and families. People lost focus on what's really important, especially in the West.
So procreating?
Yeah, procreating,
reproducing.
That's important.
Why so?
Lineage. For real? Yeah, lineage, man.
But what if they don't want kids? Like, what if a woman says she don't want kids?
They can be a stem on a tree that dies out. Good for them.
Could you date a woman that don't want kids?
I mean, I could, but that's only because I have kids already. If I didn't have kids already, no, that would be a no deal. I want kids. But since I got kids, I can date a woman who don't want kids. It's all good. You see what I'm saying? So, and here's the thing: a lot of it depends on the time and the time you ask me. If you asked me this, 20 some years ago or whatever, I would say, she gotta be willing to have kids.
And that's the whole thing,
yeah.
As far as a relationship, and if you ain't you past that right now. So what's the whole dating about? Just dating, just to
Yeah. I mean,
because y'all ain't about procreating now.
Because at different stages of your life, you want different things. In your late teens to early 20s, you want kids. In your 30s, you want career career goals. In your 40s, you want peace. In your 50s or 60s, you want somebody who gonna wipe your chin and wipe your ass, probably. You know what I mean? It's just on different stages of your life will determine your why I want this relationship, why I want.
So then
this.
you disagree with that article then about them telling them to dump men fasting?
Well, here's the problem I got with it is you got 50-year-old ladies who are in a different stage in their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Giving 50-year-old advice to 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds, not understanding that their point of view is different now that they're in their 50s than it was in their 20s. You have a different agenda now. So you giving advice as a 50-year-old will not really necessarily apply to a 20-year-old because they're in a different stage
This is
in life.
agenda.
You see what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
They're in a different stage. So it doesn't really apply. Like, you know, one thing she said is she wished that she wasn't catering to her man. I think that's ridiculous. What may have happened is now she's you know, she's older now, so she's probably a lot more, I guess you could say, seasoned or whatever. And now she's probably done with her kids and everything. Well, see, this is what I'm thinking. She wanted to get, what she's saying is she wished she could have got to her happier place faster.
Sound like regrets.
Yeah. She wished she could have got to her happier place faster. That's what's translating to me. And I get that. Everybody wants to get to their happier place faster. So she wished she would have dumped guys. But what she don't realize is it don't work like that. You can't just hop to the happier place. Everything happens in a span, a phase. Okay. Who's to say that you would even met your second husband if you didn't go through everything you went through before?
Right.
The timing would have been off. The location may have been different. You see what I'm saying? So you can't really
know what you know to attract that kind of person.
Yeah. So to me, it seems like she's just saying, "Oh, I wish I would have dumped these people faster," but it's all a process. It's all a journey. You can't really take a shortcut in life, and a lot of times people want to do that. I wish I could be richer faster. You know what I mean? But what good is having wealth if I don't know the ins and outs how to get there? You see what I'm saying? The journey is even as important as being rich itself, because somebody can win the lottery and then blow through all their money. But somebody who started from the ground up, built a business and became a billionaire, they know how to keep that money because they went through the journey. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And that's what I'm saying here. It's what I think is they giving bad advice because they're not talking about the journeys. They're not taking into account the different scenarios and situations and time frames and locations and all of that other stuff. They're just trying to skip to their happy. I get it, but you got to keep in mind you're in a different phase now. You're over 50, so you're going to have a different perspective, mainly because your why is going to be different than a 20-year-old's. See, you ain't at 50, you ain't trying to have kids, right? At 50, you ain't trying to, get ready for retirement. I mean, well, you're getting ready for retirement, but at 50, you're not trying to necessarily look for marriage, or you shouldn't be, because you should already be married. So I take it with a grain of salt on what they're saying. It also said, be clear about your core values and relationships. If you're not clear, you can truly, if you're not clear, you can't truly know what you need. Now, I agree with that one. You need to be clear about your core values and relationships. That way you don't waste each other's time. If, like you were saying earlier, Sean, if there's different ideologies, right? You need to know what they are before you really get into a deep, especially if they're very important to you, like religion, like politics, like stuff like that. So that piece of advice I do agree with. I wish I knew how many stages we would go through as a couple. We're 25 years in, and at 55 or 54 and 58. So yeah, they went through different stages. They're in a different place now, but you know, I don't necessarily think that's good advice for young people, because young people are in a different phase and they have different things to accomplish. So with that, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks for joining us. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. And since the BMR covered it, now it's official. We will check y'all in the next one. Peace.